Have you ever wondered what it would take to reach the bottom of the ocean? You're not alone. I'm Eva Burkhart with a brief overview of the physical parameters of the submersible that has researchers everywhere asking, what the Fendouzhe? To begin, a brief history of the submersible in question. The development of the manned Chinese submersible Fendouzhe, or Striver in English translation, began in 2016 and involved collaboration between nearly 1,000 researchers from over 100 universities and labs across China. The vessel was launched into the Pacific Ocean on October 10, 2020, and went on to complete a total of 13 dives into the Mariana Trench, including its national record-breaking dive on November 10th. The submersible, containing a crew of 3, reached a breathtaking depth of 32,808 feet, or 10,909 meters, exceeding the height of Mount Everest. What does pressure look like at the deepest point on the planet? For context, we can look at pressures we have all experienced before. As we are all intimately familiar, air pressure at sea level measures at a comfortable level of 101.325 kilopascals, or about 14.7 pounds of pressure per square inch. Pressure at the bottom of a 1.2-meter swimming pool is about 130.4 kPa. In comparison, the pressure reading at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is a whopping 8 tons per square inch, nearly 1,000 times that of standard atmospheric pressure at sea level. With pressures like these, it's no surprise that a fish that looks like this underwater could easily buckle when dragged upwards over vast distances. So how do submersibles protect people from becoming like blobfish when resurfacing? Deep diving vessels traditionally utilize the same general shape and design, including 2 hulls, an outer, non-watertight hull called the light hull, and an inner vessel known as the pressure hull. The space between the light hull and pressure hull is responsible for expanding and contracting based on the pressure surrounding it in order to maintain a constant pressure within, which is capable due to the permeability of the light hull and the rushing water between it and the pressure hull. This pressure capsule is usually made of a lightweight, flexible yet durable material such as titanium or steel. The Fendouzhe vessel's pressure hull is made out of an extremely thick layer of titanium alloy and utilizes an advantageous cylindrical shape, giving it favorably low hydrodynamic drag, but also requiring a reinforcement frame to prevent pressure hull failure. Pressure hull failure can occur for 2 main reasons: the material becoming too elastic and buckling under intense pressures, or not being elastic enough, causing ruptures. In an exploration into the Liaomite deep-sea transport vehicle by MIT, the following equations were derived. The first equating the maximum pressure of an elastic hull to various physical constraints, and the second showing the relationship between the maximum stress an inelastic material can withstand given external pressure and the radius of the hull. Submersibles also need to be able to modulate their own buoyancy to rise and descend in a controlled manner. This is accomplished through the use of ballast tanks, a series of pumps and openings that can be filled with water or air to descend or rise in a controlled process. The Fendouzhe vessel contains 2 ballast tanks which are extremely large, allowing for enough water to enter to increase the density of the vessel in order to descend to vast depths, while accounting for the significant amount of oxygen already within the vessel. Now you may be wondering, what about the viewport windows? Displayed here, the Striver submersible has several viewports to allow for navigation by the crew. Submersible windows are circular as well as convex towards their surroundings to account for the pressure they need to withstand. Rectangular portholes and flat windows would rupture under the stress of immense pressure, as well as being susceptible to leaks in the corners where the plexiglass meets the hull. The Fendouzhe windows are made of a polymethyl methacrylate compound plexiglass. PMMA plexiglass is a non-corrosive material as well as being viscoelastic, meaning it can take on both viscous and elastic qualities when under great mechanical stress, making it vital for deep-sea travel. Significant calculations need to be made into the viscoelastic creep behaviors of this material to avoid devastating consequences when submerged into extreme pressure. Despite what it sounds like, creep behavior is not a scary man in a trench coat, but in fact a calculable behavior expressing the way materials bend and flex when placed under great levels of stress. In this case, an in-depth analysis of the creep behavior of the Fendouzhe vessel viewports, conducted by the International Journal of Vessels and Pipes, found the parameters of the PMMA material used for the viewports of the Striver sub, allowing us to observe the flex and creep of these viewports as they descend. This information provides an insight into how the viewports utilize their elastic nature to flex under the mechanical stress of the Mariana Trench, as well as predicting the maximum stress the plexiglass can withstand as it descends, given in megapascals of pressure. Creep strain and creep dislocation are both measures of the deformation capability of materials to show how far said materials can be pushed before collapsing. Dislocation also accounts for changes in thermal energy, which can be vitally important in the near-freezing terrain of deep-sea environments. In conclusion, the Striver submersible is a triumph of deep-sea exploration and opens up a door to deep-sea research previously believed to be inaccessible. I would like to acknowledge the valuable sources I used to collect my information and say thank you so much for watching.